And for those of you with LGBTQ plus kids, you are tempted probably daily to accidentally give up influence, ultimate influence with your kids. And the church has not been your partner. And it's time for the church to be partner. I love this statement. I don't have it in my notes, that is in the Parent Connect literature. I guess it's on the website. Where you say, I guess you wrote this. Take credit for it. It's so good. You said, it says, we want this to be the last generation of Christian parents who feel isolated or abandoned or feel like they're alone or something like that.
Yeah.
When I read that, I thought, yes, this needs to be the last generation, because the church should always be partnering with parents. Always. And the church should establish their ministry. That's why we do what we do here with what we do preschool, children, middle school, high school. The church needs to be a partner, and the church should be a partner in this particular arena as well.
I'm tempted to go to the ministry leader question, but I want to make sure that you tell them about the 2 friends that you have that kids got married.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a good story.
This is in the last year and a half.
Because this is very real for so many people in this room.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
And I'll say it because it's public. I watched this 2.5 hour. Sandra will tell you this. I listen to and read far more contrary to where I am on just about any topic. I already know what I believe, so I don't want to read somebody's Christian living books. I got that. I want to read something that's like different. I have listened to. Are we recording this?
We are, but just for us.
Who's us?
Yeah, you and me.
I
can play it back.
Every Christopher Yuan, every Rosaria Butterfield, every Beckett Cook,
not Sam Harris.
Not Sam Harris.
Al Larry.
Oh yeah, Sam Albury. I love Sam. Okay, I don't put him in the category.
Just trying to give you some names.
Because they're now saying kids should not come out. I mean, anyway. So, what was the question?
I wanted you to tell the story about the 2
So I listened to this 2.5 hour, I think jet lag's kicking in. I listened to this, I listened to 2.5 hour conversation. You can find it on YouTube with the 3 of them, and they got it all figured out. And they're telling everybody what to do. None of them have ever. Anyway, they you know their stories probably. And at the end, none of it's pastoral. It's all 30,000 feet. At the end of their conversation, and one of the reasons I'm bringing them up is some of the pushback I've gotten about this conference is, why don't you have Christopher Yuan, and why don't you have Beckett, and why don't you have, Rosaria? And I'm like, because in my opinion, they have nothing helpful to say to parents. Well, you don't have to clap about that. And I may be wrong about that. But at the end of this, I'm going to tell a story. At the end of their this 2.5 hours thing, Beckett is actually interviewing them on his podcast. And I met Beckett here. He's been in church. I've read Christopher Yuan's book. I'm currently in a text stream with Christopher, asking questions. And I read Rosaria's first book, half of her second book. Anyway, and I've seen her live on the panel, so I pay attention. I'm interested. At the end of the podcast, Beckett says, I have one more question. It's kind of a pastoral question. Mm-hmm. He says, parents ask me sometimes, should I go to my son or daughter's same-sex wedding? What do y'all say? It's almost worth finding the podcast and going to the very end for this part. He says, what do y'all say? The pause is so long, you're going to look at your phone and go, did I lose? I mean, they have, and then Christopher says, I'm quoting this openly. Christopher says, well, no, I guess you could tell them you have the COVID. And they make fun and they just laugh off the whole question. I was so offended on behalf of, I don't know who, I just thought, what? No, wow. So, goodness, and these are people who, came out of, years of living as lesbians and active, homosexual lifestyle, which is a terrible phrase. What does that even mean? But anyway, that's what they would say. So, back to your question. So I have two friends. Both of them daughters, both got engaged to women, both just struggled, do we go to our daughter's wedding? And Sandra and I are very close friends with one of these couples. And the father, this was hard. I mean, this is his only daughter, and to his credit, he's such a great guy. Both of these men, they don't know each other. One lives in a different city. They both agreed, we're going to go give our daughters away. So uncomfortable. So they both do. One of the daughters, they've been married, I guess, 3 years. The other, in the first year of marriage, found out stuff about her wife and it was terrible. They got divorced. And her dad is so glad he supported her in her decision because she's leaning into him in the aftermath of this embarrassing, horrible, because he didn't lose influence. He parented toward the relationship, not toward his evangelical theology. But good theology would encourage you to parent toward influence because your heavenly Father sent his Son to figure out how to get influence with you and send his Spirit to live inside of you and dings your conscience most of the times that you do something ridiculous, right? And God has, paid an enormous price to have influence with us. That's the pattern. So anyway, so watching these two dads navigate this, and one it seems to have been successful, one not so much, but both are glad, hey, walk my daughter down the aisle, though this was not the picture. And anyway.
That's powerful. That's really powerful.
It's inspiring. Sorry.